ones, empaths, and all the genuine souls. Once you wrap your head around, this is actually happening for your benefit. Okay? The narcissist, the narcissist discard, the narcissist abandonment, ghosting, whatever, is actually happening for your benefit. And when you start to wrap your head around that, you're like, oh, wow, God's in the detail. The universe is in the detail. It's really happening for your benefit. All right? It's really happening. You face these rejections. You face these people acting funny. You face people like this. It's to put you into the path that you're meant to be on. All right? We're guided. Okay? We are guided. They're not guided. They're lost souls. They're blinded. They're wandering. You know, they're wandering frivolously. They don't know what they're doing. All right? These toxic individuals, narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, and all of that. They're lost. Okay? As they fall into more and more error in their lives, more and more error, you know, their heart's being sealed. All right? They're evil creatures. All right? So this is a spiritual battle. Like, this is, you know, the world's not made to be perfect, and it's beyond our comprehension with our finite minds in comparison to God or the universe. Like, you know, everyone, like what we're here for, we're still being revealed what we're here for. All right. You know, life takes twists and turns for us. They're unexpected. Sometimes we go through dips, hills, you know, peaks, valleys. We go through these things, but the narcissist now, they can't handle life's twists and turns and sharp turns and stuff like that. They can't handle it. They want to control everything. But once you say no, you know, like wrap your head around it, like, no, this is happening for you. And you just entrust in God's plan. You just entrust in God's plan. This annoys the hell out of them because it breaks the whole dynamics that they're trying to put you under. It breaks the whole dynamics they're trying to put you under, like feeling like a reject, feeling abandoned. No, you flip the dynamics on that. You say, no, it's beyond your comprehension, narcissist. It's beyond your comprehension, dusty weirdo. It's beyond your comprehension. God or the universe guided you away, all right? Cleared your path, all right? Cleared your path, chosen one, empath, genuine soul. Cleared your path so you can become awakened, so you can advance, so you can ascend, all right? There's too much weight put into these, you know, dysfunctional relationships, and really, like, it's better to roll solo or be on your own than it is to be in toxic company. And the state of the world now, there's a lot of toxic relationships. Some of you that still listen have moved on into successful relationships, you know, and that can always happen for each and every one of us. But it's not, you know, there's so many toxic people. The more and more you start to realize, and that's why I encourage you in the aftermath of narcissistic abuse, when you are healing, all right, like, heal enough before you do engage in new relationships. Even friendships can be draining, all right? If you've been through abuse, narcissistic abuse, toxic abuse, right, and then you're around friends, they don't understand what you've been through, all right? They'll try to minimize it. They'll try to throw salt on it. They won't understand what you're saying. And really, even friends, you know, can put you back to sleep, all right? Friends can put you back to sleep. Romantic relationships, family, they can all put you back to sleep. And something that's really beneficial when you're wrapping your head around this whole phenomenon of God, like, really doing this for you, is starting to like your own company more than the company of toxic individuals and everything like that. All right? Because many of you come out of toxic relationships, not all of you, but you come out of these toxic relationships and you still have a fondness or a warmth for the individual, or like, that was so-called good times, right? What did someone comment? It struck me. They said, you know, it's because they still believe in the illusion to some degree. This person said something. Obviously, they woke up now, but they said something in the comments that they were in France and they had a romantic evening, right? And, you know, they always associate France and Paris and stuff with romance and stuff, right? And they say they had a really romantic evening, blah, blah, blah. Like, you need to break from that illusion, whatever they were trying to, you know, portray to you, it was. all right, and just distance yourself from it more and more and more and more and more, and distance yourself from it, right? Honestly, you have to. And it just becomes natural to the point that you forget how you once saw. Those rose-tinted glasses are gone. They're destroyed. All right, you now have a new pair of glasses with vision, and you can see correctly, and you're seeing better. You have an enhanced vision, and this is beyond even sight, right? Because I keep talking about actual physical things, because there may be some of you that have, impairments and things like that. All I'm saying is it's about your spiritual sight, how you see people. You still have senses, even if you have limited sight or no sight. You still have senses where you can gauge someone. You're gonna tap into different energies that you can feel and stuff, right? So just wanted to clarify that, right? Just to put that out there. This is the thing. This is what it's about. It's about learning that there's toxic people. All I'm saying is the falling back to sleep thing is the worst. All right. The falling back to sleep thing is the worst. All right. And I come across many people that do it. It's actually, I believe that God snatches you out of it before you fall, permanently back to sleep, really. Because otherwise they wouldn't have been speaking. They wouldn't have been watching the channel. They wouldn't have been speaking to me. They wouldn't have been, doing these things. But you can fall back to sleep. And that's the thing. This narcissist or toxic individual, psychopath or dysfunctional family unit or whatever is not the be all end all. There's plenty more. And as we navigate through this world, you got to realize that your whole life can get turned upside down by wrong company. Right? It can get just wrong company, bad people, evil people. Right? It's just the way of the world. Right? So that's why we need to have enough discernment to say, try and see the benefit of why God's putting you in your own lane. All right? And it's all about purpose. It's all about meaning. It's all about becoming fulfilled. All right? I'm telling you, just everything you can put your mind to stuff, right? And that's something you're very limited in understanding that. You can actually put your mind to stuff and achieve things, right? And even, it can be hobbies, it can be anything, right? And I know you probably don't want to hear that right now about hobbies and stuff, but I'm saying these things become something, all right? All of us have gifts that we can use. And that's the thing, you get in touch with your gifts, you get in touch with, you're getting any benefit here now. It's only because I took this path, right? And I'm not saying it needs to be forever. That's why I'm making the Lone Wolf series, because honestly, if you just take a period of time, you're all right. I'm telling you, you're all right. You take a period of time away. You understand this is happening for your benefit. You stop trying to fight against it or put up resistance against what God is trying to do for your life or the universe is trying to do for your life. You just, submit to God and you trust in his plan or the universe and you just trust in it. The narcissist hates this because they can't handle that. They get mad about twists and turns in life, They have no resilience. They have no mental fortitude. They can't handle it, all right? And that's the thing. If you don't think there's a power shift that happens, all right, momentarily you may feel rejected. You may feel like these are natural emotions, right? I should have probably put that out there earlier, but you would feel these things. But it's about elevating and evolving beyond that, whatever they've tried to inflict on you, all right? Evolving beyond that. You're not a representation of what they've done to you, right? Or what you're labeled as or anything like that. You're not, it's way deeper than that. It's all about how God sees you in his sight, right? And that's the thing. You're not a representation of what they tried to make you out to be, right? And that's the difference with the chosen one, empath and genuine soul. Is modest the right word? I think it is. You're modest, you're humble, right? And you've been through hell and back in a lot of cases, right? But you don't really seek sympathy from people. And that's what you need to watch out for. A lot of you fall into these toxic relationships, right? Everyone does. These toxic relationships where people play victim. Oh, I'm a victim. Hello. That's basically the conversation. It's a fucking joke. right? You meet someone and they're saying, you know, it can be a friend, it can be whatever, right? And it's, oh, poor me. And it's another narcissist just chatting a load of rubbish, a load of bollocks, right? Chatting all this, spewing all this rubbish out their mouth about they're the victim and that. And they're most likely the oppressor in these situations. It's unbelievable, right? And those individuals are like succubus spirits, right? They're really stealing your light, your energy, everything. All right. And you need to watch out for that. You need to watch out for that. You know, collectively, everyone, relationships that you engage in, you shouldn't focus on some negatives from the past, right? Just for your own peace of mind, everyone's, right? But these individuals want to talk about the past because they're so preoccupied with the past, so preoccupied that they're not even present in the present. They're not even present in the present. You know, seriously. So all I'm saying is when you wrap your head around this whole phenomenon, that this is happening for your benefit, that it is for your benefit. If you've been discarded, ghosted, abandoned, it's like you just clearly see this is all in your favor, right? And it is. It really is. And if some of you need the narcissist to reach out or to try and hoover you or to do some kind of bizarre hoover, you know, some smear campaign, some whatever for you to get the validation, and that can be on the horizon where they are going to do that. You know, I can't deny that can happen to you, you know, and some of you might need that to actually see what you're seeing, but you can see it without it. You can just have an awareness from day dot, right? I swear to God, right? You can have an awareness from day dot, like it's their loss. You know, you can seriously embrace that. And if you can get that, if you can have that really ingrained in you as a being, right? You know, someone walks away from your life, it's their loss, right? And you just know it's their loss. You know, you're not waiting for them to return. You're not waiting for them to try and rekindle, but you know it's their loss, right? That's all you need. And I'm telling you, a lot of the times, as I've talked about in other videos, the narcissist does keep tabs on you, right? And they will see things to see that you're healing, you're elevating, and you're evolving, right? And they often are not pop up like whack-a-mole, you know, they just pop up out of nowhere. They do these things, right? Try and hoover, try to do these things. And it's, like I just said a moment ago, some of you maybe need those things to happen for you. I don't think you need it, but some of you might like that to happen for you to realize. But honestly, you can really ingrain this in yourself, knowing, because you're going to go through life with other people, you know, other toxic individuals, other flaky people and stuff like that, right? So you're going to realize that people are not straight up. So you need to be tough-skinned, and you need to realize that it's their loss when someone, you know, chooses not to engage or chooses to discard or ghost or abandon. It's really in your favor. You know, it really is, because you really find yourself. And that's something that I want all of you to do, is find yourself. See? You might say, Zion, I know myself. You know, Zion, I'm older than you. I know myself. Look, I'm telling you, I believe the only possible way to get to know yourself is when you're by yourself. And sometimes you can be by yourself in a room full of people when you're going through despair. You could be surrounded by loads of company, but you're alone in your mind, heart, and soul, right? And that's what I'm saying. You may live in shared accommodation, or you may live in, you may have all your kids or your family around or whatever, right? But I'm saying sometimes you can still have company. I'm not saying they're bad company. I'm just saying you can still feel alone in a room full of company when you're going through trauma, right? But what starts to happen as you go from that, so there can be good company around and stuff like that, but I mean, you go from that feeling alone inside a room full of people to where when you try to branch out, you feel alone again because people don't understand you, right? Or if people pretend to understand you, you know? So that's the thing. It's all about knowing yourself. The more you get to know yourself, the more you see that other people ain't in touch with themselves, and they're not themselves. They put on an act, they put on a facade, they put on a bravado. They're just not authentic, right? And we all need to walk in our true authenticity, When we walked in our true authenticity around toxic individuals, they didn't appreciate it. But I'm telling you, these very toxic individuals will appreciate your authenticity in a self-absorbed way after relationships end. Because they deal with flaky people and toxic people, and you know what I'm saying? So trust me though, if you really wrap your head around this is happening for your benefit. Some of you are so fresh out, of course you're not going to fathom it all right away. So maybe save this video in your playlist and come back to it, because it can hit home in a different way. But really embrace this happening for your benefit. You're not a reject. You haven't lost anything. You haven't. And I'm not just singing you sweet words. You haven't. God's trying to show you, like, there's more to life than investing in some other person that's not deserving of your investment or your love. So anyway, thanks for listening today. I really appreciate the support. Please book a session if you'd like to. If you'd like to donate your support to the channel, you can. You don't have to, but if you'd like to, you can. Check out Zion Music. I've just released a new EP, Beneath the Veil, and I've got the debut EP also released a little while ago, Ascension. Check those out. It's the same themes that we cover on the channel. All linked to you in the description box below for anything I've mentioned, and I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.